Hey everybody, Dustin Schmidt here again, and I'm going to talk about an entire interview kit in a single bag. This is the Atlas Athlete Pack, and let's go through now and let's unpack some of the things that are in this pack. Now this is extremely overpacked here. Let me show you what all we have in here. Here's the pack. As you can see, we've got stuff on every single side. We've got stuff strapped to the sides, loaded all through the top. We're going to take this stuff out one by one, and then I'm going to show you how you can use this in your production. All right, first things first. Here in the front pouch, we have our crossbar. Now this is a Westcott. This is a Westcott Cine frame set, and the way you use this is all of these pop together. There's Velcro here on it and allows you to build different frames. Now the way I use it, as opposed to building a full 4x4 or 6x6 or even 8x8 frame, is to just use it to create a T-bar to hook up to a stand and then hang rags off of it. So this one here has just enough pieces for a 6-foot. And you'll see that we'll use it with our 6x6 Ultra Bounce rag that we've got in here for our key light. So I'm gonna put that here, and then we're gonna pull some of the rest of this out and probably clear some of this off as we go so we can see. Next is a Dinkum Systems Action Pod. And this also has a cold shoe on it, and then a ball head so that we can mount lights. So that is the second. Here on this side, we unstrap some of our buckles. We've got a little Matthews clamp, small grip head, and then little Mathilini clamp that we can use. One small double fold stand, a second small double fold stand, and then if we come around to the other side, you'll see that we have our other two stands as well as other two clamps. So if I undo this, we've got additional mini Mathilini clamp right there, additional double fold stand, and our tripod. So I'm gonna put this bag down here for a second. So here's our primary grip equipment. One tripod, 3 stands, 2 clamps, a Dinkum Action Pod clamp, and then our crossbar. And this is going to serve as the base to set up our cameras and our lighting equipment. And you'll see how we do that. So we could probably use a few more stands, but honestly that's what these clamps are for, is to be able to clamp to stuff, you know, to clamp to tables. Let's say you're going into a house, somebody's place, and you're going to set up an interview in their area. There's going to be stuff that you can clamp to or even just set lights on, whether that is side tables or couches or other chairs or shelves, things like that. You don't necessarily always have to have a stand for everything, but that's the way I'm approaching this build. Now, the way this works, like I said, these all snap together. These are the 10-inch pieces. They make these in different sizes. They make like 2-foot. I think they even make 4-foot sections. But the way I like to do it is keep them partially assembled like this. And then you can just take, they've got holes that line up, and you can quickly snap all this together to create a 6-foot crossbar. Now, why is this beneficial compared to something that requires no snapping together? Well, as you can see, it packs down really, really small and can literally go into the front of your backpack. So there it is, a full 6-foot T-bar that what we can now do is use our clamp here, clamp it to the center, show really quickly, and then I'll put this off to the side once we get it up and going. But now you've got a clamp that you can use to hang rags off of. And if you didn't want to go with a 6x and you only wanted to go with a 4x, certainly plenty big for a one-person interview. I just like to have a really large source if I can help it. And now we're going to get our double fold stand out. Hang our T-bar off of it. Boom. And now we've got a spot to hang our rag off of, put this anywhere, and we've got a giant key. So I'm going to put this off to the side, and then we're going to pull some of our other stuff out of our bag here. So, additional stands. I'm just going to pop these up, put these off to the side for when we get the rest of our stuff out. So you can see all this, how all this is going to come together. Another double fold stand. Another one. Now you're not going to put heavy lights on these stands. I've absolutely put like an Aperture 120D Mark II on here. I've actually even put a 300D or a 300X on here. As long as you keep your base stable, you're okay. Don't necessarily recommend doing that with a 300, but it does work. This is a Me Photo Road Trip carbon fiber tripod. So the other thing that's nice about this, again, is that it folds back on itself. Just has an arc of Swiss, and we're going to use that to mount our A-cam on. So pop that down. Just like that. And then we're going to put this off to the side and get the rest of our gear out here. Okay. And additional clamp. Throw that on one of our stands. We can use that to mount one of our lights. And our action pod here, which as you can see, just has a little clamp on it. You can clamp two stuff like the side of that. And so you could easily see how this could clamp on like the side of a table or something like that. All right, now we're going to bring our bag back up here. And I'm going to show you what we have in the top. So the top's where we're keeping all of our lighting equipment. Pull that open for you. This is I talked about this in a different video that I'll link to in the description. This is the Atlas Athlete Pack. I just got this about a week and a half ago and have really been loving this bag. It can carry a ton of stuff, and that was kind of the goal when I started this is, okay, let's see what all I can fit in this bag. So first light, this is going to be our key light. This is a Light in Motion. I believe it is the 5000. They make different levels of these. This one's the 5000. And it has a power supply that does fit in here. I actually left it out just for the purpose of showing this, but it has a built-in battery. These things are supposed to be very waterproof, so you can take them out in the like inclement weather. They're used by like news cameramen, and like I said, they make different strengths. I found that this one is right about the 5,000 watt or 5,000 lumen. I'm not entirely sure how they measure it. I'll link to that as well. But again, runs off battery, and boom, you just do turn it on like that, and you can adjust the brightness with these switches right here, and turn it on and off, and allows you to go out, and now I've got a key light to bounce into my 6x6 Ultra Bounce that requires no cables. So I believe it'll run at full power when it's fully charged. It'll run at full power for about an hour and a half. So depending on what you need to do, pretty good. If you're in a very dark room and you scale it down, it gives you the power length on the back here. So you can see if I scale up, this one's not completely charged at the moment, but there's 5,000 lumens. Probably can't see that. No. And it says 64 minutes. If I go down in power to about half power, so 2,500 lumens, 126 minutes. And as I continue to go down, if this were fully charged, and it gives me, for 500 lumens, this will run for 628 minutes, which is an incredible amount of time. So this goes on one of our stands. And there's our key light. We've got Sony MPF batteries for our next two lights. So first one is the Luxley Kick-Ass panel, or sorry, not Luxley, Lupo Kick-Ass panel. I've also got a Luxley light in here. And this is a full color panel. They make a couple of, I think there's a bicolor. This is their full color. Pretty cool little light. Lots of info out there on this, but it's got a lot of punch for its size. And what I like this for is for backgrounds. If you want to put a color wash on something, it just gives you a lot of options to have that full color capability. Additionally, now is the Luxley Cello. This was one of the first full color lights on the market. You know, similar to the Kick-Ass panel. Not as bright. The Luxley is not as bright as the Kick-Ass panel, but again gives you full color. So gives you a lot of options. This one's better used for like a kicker or something like that. Doesn't quite have the battery life that this one does. This one gets more, even though it's brighter, it has better battery life than this cello. The cello's got a better app though, so you can run the cello off your phone. The Kick-Ass panel you cannot. It's all the controls are on the back, and you have to go manually and turn that, versus this one that you can connect on your phone, which is nice if you're a one-man band setting up. So those are the lights we have in there, and then I have our 6x6 Ultra Bounce. So there's our rag. So all this fits in here, and you'll see what I'll do is I'll put this Ultra Bounce up and stick it in the back. So giant rag now that we can take for our key light. And the way this is going to work here, if I bring this back in, is I can take this, hang our straps across the side. You can tie up to the top here, like you do. Tie onto your sides to kind of give it a little bit of stretch here. And then tie up here again. And now what you have, like I said, is a ridiculously large key light. Which is really nice when you go into places. Obviously, bigger is better, bigger is softer. And this nano stand, if I walk around here, gives you a good amount of height here. So you could see if you had somebody seated, how big this source is right now. Okay, and if I move this off over to the side here, somewhat out of frame, and now here's our key light, And I'm going to show you a little setup with how this works here in a second. We're going to cut to a practical real world example here. So you can turn this on. Boom. And now you can see how bright that is if I obviously adjust it for the camera. You know, we're to set this up as my actual key. Right now my key is coming from over here. You can see how well that works. So there's our key light. Let's move that off. Okay. So now that we've got that out of the way, there's all of our lighting gear, right? So we've got key light, we've got a background light, which is just our Lugsley here, which is going to roll on like this. And then I can adjust that. Sony batteries. Pop one of these on here. Now you can also run this off AC power. See if I turn that on real fast. Takes a second to boot up. And there we go. And you can adjust, you know, intensity of this however you want. I'm in a pretty bright room at the moment. You can see that getting a little bluer. Adjust my hue and my saturation. This is a full RGB light, like I said. As I scroll through, there's green, you know, warm, cool. So however you want to paint your background, you've got the capability to do that, which is pretty nice. So I would take this and clamp it to some furniture. And then lastly, we've got our Luxley. Same thing. So right now, this is on a double CTB. I can scroll through and get basically every tone in the book on here. So, and then all I'm going to do with this, honestly, if I just used a little small ball head, that would work just fine on here. Currently I've got this clamp, but that's in case I wanted to, basically I've got options, right? So, and now I can put this wherever I want, whether that's use it as a backlight, edge light, hair light, kind of in my setup. So, and let's move this off. And tripod. Okay. Let's talk about what else we have in here. Sony batteries, a couple extra there. Now we're going to get into the camera gear. So on these bags, camera gear is on the back of the Atlas Athlete Pack. And here's our camera setup. So currently I've got a Canon EOS R. I've got a 50 mil right here. And this is going to be our A-cam setup right there. This is going to go on our tripod. So boom, right like that. Additionally, I've got a Fuji X100V, just because that's what I have with me right now. But what I did want to show, here's a little mic, is that you could easily, there is room here, if I take out this divider, to have two mirrorless bodies. That's battery right there for the Fuji. You could easily have an EOS R and another EOS R, or an R6 and another R6, or an R5 and an R6, or dual. Basically, there's room in here for two mirrorless bodies and then two lenses for those. This other lens here is a 24-70 f2.8 version 2 L lens. So if you knew you were just going to shoot interviews and you wanted some real shallow depth of field and you wanted to go with like a 50 and a 35, 50 1.2, 35 1.4, great. If you knew you had some other work to do, maybe run around and grab some B-roll. 24 to 70 is great for that, and you could, you know, run this at 70 at 2.8 and get a nice B-cam angle. So, adapter for the Canon, Canon battery. But basically, you've got room in here for a 2-camera setup as long as it's a mirrorless setup, which is pretty nice. So there's our camera setup. I almost forgot. Additionally, in here is our audio kit. So Sennheiser G3 kit also goes in there. So we've got receiver, transmitter. Transmitter is going to go on the camera. Just like that. The reason I'm not booming is because I need an extra stand that I just frankly don't have with this. So lav mic's kind of the go-to here. And that actually reminds me, in terms of our lighting setup, you're probably wondering, okay, how are we going to mount our second camera? 2 options there. One of them would be to find something to prop our light on. For example, this. We could just prop this somewhere in the background to light the background. And then what we could do actually is attach our camera to this. And then I'm going to clamp this somewhere in the background. Maybe it's to a kitchen table chair, something like that. And then that's how I'm going to get my second angle for my interview. So, or vice versa. You know, with the light, we could always pop this onto a light stand and take our light that we had attached and prop that against something. So a little bit of some caveats in kind of how you're going to work, but I will show examples of how I made this work in a setup right after this. So, audio lavalier mic, Sennheiser MKE2 for our transmitter. So there we have it. We've got 2-camera interview setup, A and B cam, tight and wide. We've got 3 lights. I almost forgot. Actually, we've got 4 lights. I will use this light right now. I swapped it out into the background here, but we've also got an aperture bulb. So let me grab that. So one of the best things you can do when you're shooting, especially in somebody's house, is work in practicals, if they've got lamps, things like that. But typically those lamps are going to be too bright once you account for everything else. Once you adjust your shutter, aperture, all that, and dial in your lights, most of the time your lamps are going to burn out. So what you want is something like this aperture bulb that you can control with your phone, or luckily on this one, has a built-in power and dimmer on it. And you can plug this and replace some of the practicals. You can adjust the color temp on this. Again, it's RGBW. So I've now got 1, 2, 3 with the Luxley, 3 lights that give you complete color control. And then the Light in Motion Stella 5000 is daylight only, but if you wanted to, you could bring some gels and gel it. That allows me to do a lot, and I will show you how we use this in the setup. So I didn't have this in the bag. Technically, it will fit. There's additional room in here, but I had it in the background for this shot. So now we're going to cut, and I'm going to take you to a pretend setup of how we may do an interview with all this gear, and show you how it's show you what it looks like. So let's check it out. All right, and here's what it looks like. We've got our key set up right here. It's a 6x6 Ultra Bounce coming in from this direction. I've got a Luxley Cello coming in for the back side. It's a full RGB W light that is allowing me to do this blue highlight over here. I've got a Lupo kick-ass panel, putting kind of the subtle blue on the background here. We've also got an aperture light bulb in the background. Forget exactly what that's called. I've got a Canon EOS R as my A cam, and I've got a Fuji X100V as my B cam shooting an F-Log. So pretty interesting little setup you can get out of a single backpack. All the lighting, all the cameras, audio gear. Oh yeah, and I'm also recording wirelessly to a lav mic, Sennheiser MKE2 and Sennheiser G3 wireless lab kit. Going straight into the EOS R, and this is what it looks like.